Hello guys, it's Justice here from tutorialscamp.com, and today we're gonna talk about Angular and why you guys need to learn it and the main what is it used what for. So basically, imagine you could learn Angular and then land your dream job as a what, as a developer. Maybe a job that will pay you $1,000 a month. How happy will your life be? I know you may buy your dream house, buy a fancy clothes, and then buy the latest car in town, right? Or even throw a big party with your friends. What an amazing life! But now here you are, without any of this. But it doesn't have to be this, all right? So the secret of mastering Angular and landing your dream job that will pay you a huge money to live an amazing life is just in this upcoming series of what video. So subscribe to the channel and then stick to it. Alright, so enough. So let's talk about Angular and why you need to learn it. So basically, what is Angular? So Angular is the top leading framework for building JavaScript heavy applications. It often used to build single page apps, or SPA for short. What is a single page app? In a standard web application, when we click on a link, the entire page is reloaded. But in a SPA, instead of reloading the entire page, we reload only the view whose content is requested. We call this component in Angular. SPA also keeps track of history, so if a user navigates using the back and forward button, the application is reasserted in the right state. All these provide a fast and fluid experience for the user. Gmail and Hotmail is a good example of SPA. So what is actually means here is that Angular is the top leading framework for building JavaScript heavy applications. You see, in JavaScript, right? In JavaScript, we actually use it for building giving interaction to website, most applications. But with Angular, you can actually make it simpler, write less code, and then achieve a great result from it. So actually, but great results for we actually use Angular to build SPA apps. And what is meant by SPA app? Let me show you an example here. You see, in a standard web application, when we let's say when we are on a particular site and we want to navigate to another page, let's say you want to navigate to the login page here, you see that the entire page will be reloaded. Here is it. You see that the entire page has been reloaded, but that isn't actually what we want, because this thing here is the same as what is on this login page. So what we actually want is that when we click on the login page here, this thing should stand idle. It shouldn't change, but the only thing that should change here is this form. This form should be the only thing that's changed. And in Angular, we call this a component, and this one is also a component. So normally, if this is an Angular app, we will say that this is the first component and this is actually the second component. But so in case if we click on this link, this thing should stand either. It shouldn't change anything here. But you see, in a standard application, but just check it out. When if I click on this thing, you see that the entire page will be reloaded. But here is an example of Angular app I want to show you. So there we go. You see, this. Let's say this is a component here, and this is also another component. So here, if I say I want to navigate to the login page, this component here, it shouldn't reloaded. It should stand idle. The only thing that should change here should be this form. So check this out. You see, the form has been replaced with the login form. We were actually on the form was actually on the registration. We have 3 input fields here, oh sorry, we have three input fields here. But when you click on the navigate to the login page, you see that the only thing that change here is the what, this the login page, this component here. But uh, you see that this path here doesn't change, it doesn't reload, it stands still. Just take it out. If you see that nothing will be what we place there, you see this thing doesn't change, and that's what we call Angular application. And because the entire page doesn't reload, it makes your what, your application very fast and very lightweight. That's why most tech companies prefer Angular, because knowing Angular, it makes most of their what, the applications lightweight and what, very easy to what, debug. And if you actually want an example of something like that, I know you may have a Gmail account or Hotmail account. If you have an if you go through your inbox, you may have a lot of emails. Just click on one and you'll see that the entire page won't be reloaded. The view that it contains is associated with that particular what, message will be what, navigated to a different screen, giving you the full description of the kind of the message that was sent to what, to you. So actually, who developed Angular? There are other popular frameworks out there that provide similar functions. So why use Angular? Angular is one of the leading frameworks in this space. It has been around for quite a few years. It has a huge community support and it is backed by Google, and demand for Angular developers are constantly increasing. Most tech companies prefer using it over other frameworks. That's exactly what I just told you. So you see, for Angular, most tech companies, they actually prefer using Angular over most JavaScript libraries like Vue.js and React Native. They actually because Angular has been in existence for a very long, and it's still on top of the most of what, it's on top of the actually the libraries that are around nowadays. It's just recently that React is actually trying to compete with Angular, but it can actually go beyond what Angular can do, because with Angular it has some special functionalities that you may not find in these libraries, like two-way binding. You may get this meaning, it may sound wild, but you may get a meaning when as we proceed on. So learn Angular if you actually want to secure a job fast as a front-end developer. Then learn Angular. So what language is used in Angular development? We will be using Typescript for Angular 10 development. Why not JavaScript? Typescript is actually a superset of JavaScript. Any valid JavaScript code is valid Typescript, which means that you do not need to have to learn a new programming language. Typescript brings some useful features that are missing in the current version of JavaScript, supported by most browsers. It has modules, classes, interfaces, access modifiers like private and public, IntelliSense, and compile term checking. So you can catch many programming errors during runtime runtime comparison. So basically, we actually code in TypeScript instead of JavaScript. But at the end of everything, your TypeScript code will be compiled into JavaScript. The reason why we code in TypeScript is that with TypeScript, you have some it's an object oriented programming language, and it makes use of code rich usability, and it allows you to code less and achieve what, more results from it. So code that you may write let's say 100 lines of code to achieve it in JavaScript, you can actually code 20 lines of code in TypeScript to achieve the same result. So that's the main reason why you actually code in TypeScript. Yeah. Alright, so that's just an overview introduction to Angular 10. And if you know the name, Justice from tutorialscamp.com. So head on to tutorialscamp.com, and everything that I've said that you couldn't catch it well. Maybe I don't know, you prefer reading over watching or listening. So head on there. Everything will be posted there for you to read it. And see you guys in the next tutorial. For in the next video, I will be telling you guys about the architecture of Angular applications. It's really easy, and catch it up the next video. See you. Goodbye.